Hello, brick sculptors. Welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and welcome back to my Brick Sculpt Tree Sculptor series. I have an amazing tree build for you here, and the reason I love this one so much is it's simple and it's effective. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's start with the design. So I've got a base here, and this obviously isn't part of the tree. You can use whatever you want for a base, but it is going to be off of a 1x1, so a jumper in the middle is helpful. For our base here, we're going to use a inkwell piece to start, and we're actually going to use these Technic pin connectors in reddish brown. I'm going to put one of those right on top. Those hold a bar very nicely. So that's going to be our first piece on there. For the rest of the trunk, we're going to use a combination of those pin connectors as well as these cross pieces. Now these cross pieces, there are two variations of it. This is one of them, and this is the other. They look quite similar. I'll have them listed both in the description. They both will work for this build, but for portions of it, this one works better, and I think this is the better piece. The difference is this has the cross going all the way through, so it holds a bar piece much tighter. This one only has that Technic cross on one side, and it has a pin connector on the other, so it will hold this, but it's a weaker connection. Now this one works well in the middle of the trunk, and I'll use an actual Technic cross piece there because I wanted to demonstrate how I can use both in the same tree. But if you are buying just one, this is the better option, and I'll have that part number listed at the top. This one will be listed secondary. Anyway, what we're going to do next, we're going to take a 3-long bar. Doesn't matter what color because you're not going to see it. That's going to stick into our trunk. And then we're going to come with one of these 4-way cross pieces, stick it right on top. Another connector, and then we're going to use this Technic cross. If you're using just this style, you can use all bars, but I am using one of these other style. So that cross Technic piece works better. And then we're just going to stagger these so they kind of crisscross like that. Another pin connector. Another bar, another one of the cross pieces, and another connector. And that's our basic trunk. It's simple, it's effective, and it's going to be very good looking. Now we need to put some greenery on here. Now on most trees, I usually start at the bottom and work up. On this tree, it's going to be the opposite. We're going to start at the top and work down. Our top piece on this is real simple. It's just going to be 3 of these branch pieces and 1 of these 1x1 rounds with bar on them. We're going to put a branch piece on either side of this, and we're going to take a third one and sandwich it in between the tops so it looks just like that. And that's going to make for the top of the tree. Now the reason I like this tree so much, it's tall and it's skinny. So it can fit in tight spaces, which is nice when you're doing wooded areas because Lego trees aren't flexible like real trees. So it's kind of hard to sandwich them all together and make them look natural. But if you have skinny trees, they fit in very easily next to larger trees. For the next layer down, we're just going to take more of these branch pieces. And for this layer, we're going to take these pointing upward. The bottom one's going to overlap on top of the upper one. We're then going to take a 1x1 round plate with open stud and put it on the back side of that branch. We're going to make 4 of these, and this is going to be our top layer here. Now I would recommend taking that center and staggering it in between 2 of these branch pieces just to give it a little bit more realism. And then we're just going to push 4 of these on here. As I mentioned before, it's a very simple tree, but it looks really good, and it can add a lot of detail to your builds. And there is the top of our tree. For the next 2 layers, they're going to be quite similar, but with one difference. We're going to take 2 branches, pointing upward. The top one, instead of going on the back side, is going to go on the top side, so it sticks out. And then we're also going to take a 1x1 round and put it in the back. We're going to make 8 of these, and that's going to do our next 2 layers. And now you can see why we started at the top, because these are all overlapping. It'd be quite hard to put these layers in afterwards if you did it the opposite way. And down here, and you can see it's looking nice and full. I got inspired by this by wandering the neighborhood on a walk and seeing some tall, thin trees. I tried to think of a good tree name for this. It's very specific to this design, but I actually found a lot of conifers and deciduous trees that share this shape, tall, skinny, and pointed upward. So you could do a few different things with this. I know like some versions of cypress trees are very slim like this, and not having leaves on it, it definitely could look like needles as opposed to leaves. So you can use your own imagination on that as to what species of tree this would be. Of course, I can't just make one, so I'm going to show you some variations here. Next color variation. I love the olive green. This would look great in a wooded area. If you're going to do these in like a public park where they were obviously planted there, I think the green looks a little more natural. But in a wooded area, the tree is probably not as well kept, maybe a little bit more scraggy, maybe it's starting to lose its leaves. I think the olive green is a really nice vegetation fill color to kind of add some different colors into a very green background. Sand green also looks really good. That could also be a nice look for a planted tree as opposed to a more wild tree. Lime green looks good. You know, this is, I have a few of these in my neighborhood that are kind of in fall, starting to turn yellowish green. That looks good for that as well. Now I did want to experiment with this and try to add some leaves, and I'll show you how that came out. The first one I tried to put 3-leaf pieces all over it, and this is what I got. And it doesn't look bad. It's a little chunky, and I'll be honest, it's quite fragile. These leaves can pop off quite easily. They overlap a lot in here, so there's a lot of stuff touching each other, and they can tend to pop off. So it does look good, but I would use that sparingly, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to build. Personally, I don't want to build any more of those. I then tried it with the other type of 3-leaf piece. It doesn't look bad, but some of these spots are a little awkward where these stick out kind of far. So it might need a revision there, but it does look a little sloppy. It looks a little unkept. And personally, I do think with no leaves on it, these versions look great. This is not designed to be like a big showpiece tree that's going to be front center, the focal point of the entire build. This is just like a highlighter tree. It's added detail you put in the background. You have your bigger, more grand trees in front, and these kind of surround around them. But either way, I think it's a very useful tree, and really happy with how these came out. I'm going to be building a lot of these for my city to fill in some of the more wooded areas. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We'll do more just like this in the future. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. That's all I have for this time, and we'll see you next time.